Quebec is one of the provinces in Canada, and it is a very wonderful province to live in. In fact, do you know that Quebec is the second most populous province in Canada? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Adetayo, and yes, this is these impressions, my impressions about everything and anything at all. If you're new on this channel, I am a Nigerian YouTuber living here in Canada. Got to know precisely. I talk about lifestyle, I talk about immigrating to Canada most of all, and I talk about any other interesting thing I feel like sharing with the world. So if you are new here, you're highly welcome. I really do appreciate the fact that you have taken your chance to be here today. Well, today I'll be sharing a very interesting one with you. Since I live in Gatineau, Canada, Gatineau, Canada is located in Quebec. Quebec is one of the provinces in Canada. If you don't know, now you know. Quebec is one of the provinces in Canada, and it is a very wonderful province to live in. In fact, do you know that Quebec is the second most populous province in Canada? Yes, apart from Toronto, where almost everybody wants to go, Quebec is the next on the list. Okay, so if you're thinking of where to settle, Quebec might be a very good choice for you. So consider Quebec as one of your options. So today I'll be sharing with you what it feels like to live in a province like Quebec. I'll be sharing with you the pros and cons of living in Quebec. Before going into the pros and cons, I'm just going to mention a few cities in Quebec, okay? So you just have a general idea of the cities that are in Quebec. Now, the first on the list is Montreal. Yeah, Montreal is a very well-known and popular city in Quebec. It's one of the most populous in Quebec. It's one of the most popular cities in Quebec. This is a place where you find most people. Okay, I once lived there, and I spent like a year and a half of my life in Montreal, and yeah, the experience was super dope. Okay, so my first experience living in Canada was in Montreal because that was where I started my immigration journey. Okay, so yeah, Montreal is a very good place, a very good city to live in Quebec, and there are so many other cities too, like Gatineau, where I live right now. There is Laval and Quebec City, and a whole lot of other cities that you could live in. But yeah, I'm gonna check my notes to see the other ones, because yeah, I do not know them offhand. Okay, so guys, pardon me. So we have in Quebec, we have Montreal, like I mentioned before. Quebec City, we have Ottawa, Gatineau. Ottawa is actually Ontario, but it is a border city to Gatineau, so they kind of share borders and are intertwined somehow. So that is why I mentioned Ottawa, Gatineau, but it's Gatineau actually. Gatineau is in Quebec, and it is a wonderful city to live in. Sherbrooke is also one of the cities in Quebec, and Laval, Dorval, and a whole lot of other cities. Okay, I can't mention all of that in this video because of course that's going to take up the whole amount of the video. Now I'm going to go straight into the pros and the cons of living in Quebec. I'm going to start with the pros. The cost of living in Quebec is sweet. What does it mean to be sweet actually? Because yeah, it is actually cheap to live in Quebec. Talk about the cost of goods and services, talk about insurance for your cars, talk about living in general. The quality of life is cheap and affordable. Okay, so it is one of the reasons why people get attracted to the province. The cost of living in Quebec is cheap. Well, in as much as I said the cost of living is cheap, there are other things that makes it okay, but I'm gonna leave that for now. Let's talk about the pros. Okay, Quebec is a wonderful place, and I'm going to tell you why. So when we talk about the cost of living, we talk about the cost of housing, to buy a house, to purchase a house, to rent an apartment, all of those things are quite affordable compared to other provinces where you actually have to pay through your noses to have these things. Okay, so if you want to rent a house, you want to rent an apartment in Quebec, you can easily afford it. The cost of goods and services is quite affordable compared to other provinces, and that is one of the reasons. That's also one of the reasons why Quebec is cool. Another wonderful part of Quebec, especially Montreal, because that was where I lived when I was that was where I was before I moved down to Gatineau, because I am still in the Quebec province. In as much as there's public transportation in every part of Canada, that of Quebec is more spectacular. Ask me why. Okay, I'll tell you. Now, in Quebec, the train system is so cool. The train system is so cool. Like, I haven't seen or experienced any other train stations like that of Quebec. I mean, I love the train system in Quebec. I love the way it is organized and all of that. I have been to train stations in Ottawa, in Toronto, and trust me, you can't even compare, okay? So that one is a plus for Quebec. So the cost of utilities in Quebec is quite cheap, so you can easily afford your utility bill. So unlike some provinces where you go and you find it very difficult to get a job, in Quebec, most especially Montreal, I've been there, I can say this firsthand, that jobs are easily obtained. Another thing I could say is a plus and not a plus at the same time for living in Quebec is the weather. Yes, I have said it previously in my videos that the weather condition in Canada is something to prepare for. So if you're going to be coming to Canada, you really have to prepare for the fact that the weather sometimes might be very harsh, especially when it's winter. So the weather in Quebec is not an exception, but it is fairly better than some other provinces, especially the northern provinces. So if that is an issue, Quebec might be the best place for you to stay. I am not promising you that the weather is going to be completely okay all through your stay in Quebec, but it is fairly better. I said fairly better than other provinces. Another thing to look out for when in Quebec is the childcare benefits, pension, and some other benefits that the government of Quebec has in place that other provinces do not have. So yes, there are benefits like that that Quebec has in place for people living in Quebec that other provinces do not have or have not made provisions for. At this point, I'm going to delve straight into the cons of living in Quebec. Now, there are disadvantages and advantages to being in this province. So if you are going to come into Quebec as a newcomer, you should make preparations for these particular things I am about to talk about. First is the language. The language spoken in Quebec is predominantly French. In fact, over 80% of Quebecois speak French. One thing I have noticed about Quebecois is that they actually prefer that you speak French to them instead of English. So sometimes they might sound like they are not so embracing when you ask questions or you try to talk to them, especially when you ask if they speak English. Actually, when you ask them that question, they would actually answer you in English, telling you they do not speak English. So you're asking a Quebecois, do you speak English? And the person is like, I do not speak English, just a little. Answering you that they do not speak English in English. So you can imagine. The truth is that almost everyone in Canada, or not in Canada, in Quebec, is bilingual. They can speak French as well as English, but they actually would prefer that you speak French with them. So if you can learn French, if you can or you can live in their midst without actually learning French and still survive, that's fine. Well, I am one person who has tried to learn French and it didn't work out. So I have decided that I'm going to just stay this way. And actually, the good thing about it is that I now live in Gatineau. Gatineau is very close to Ottawa, so it's mostly bilingual. Most people can speak English and speak French at the same time here. So it's easy for me to communicate with people in the stores, anywhere at all. I have to do is ask if they can speak English and they answer me straight up. But places that are deeply French speaking, or deeper places into Quebec, would not actually embrace that. So you have to prepare your mind for that. If you're going into Quebec to live, you also have to determine the city where you're going to go that would embrace the differences that would embrace the differences. So you have to decide that all by yourself before you move at all to Canada or to the province of Quebec. So the next is construction. I don't know if this is a Canada thing, but the truth about it is that once winter is over, oh my god, everywhere you go is construction. Yes, you would see them constructing the road here, and then you have to reroute your way, and it might take months before they finish up with that construction. So construction to me is a con. If you're going to be living in Montreal, Quebec, expect that construction all the time when it's not winter, okay? Because it's just really, really undaunting. The most discouraging part of being in Quebec is the taxes, okay? So when you hear a lot of people saying, oh, I don't want to stay in Quebec, blah, 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 taxes, yeah, blah, blah, blah. So Quebec has a very high rate of tax being collected from its citizens because, yeah, in Quebec, you pay almost 15% of your income to the government. You also pay GST, which is goods services tax or something, HST. You pay all of that from your goods and services. If you go into a store, you're not just purchasing anything, you're paying taxes on the things you purchase. You're paying taxes from your income. You're paying taxes from almost anything that comes into your household as an income. So you have to prepare your mind for the fact that Quebec takes provincial tax, and it also takes federal tax. Federal tax is what applies to almost all provinces in Canada, and in many provinces the only tax they take is the federal tax. But in Quebec, you pay for the provincial tax and you pay federal tax and some other taxes that might come around later on. So you have to prepare yourself for that. Many people get used to the idea of paying taxes and all of that because, yeah, even when you go to other provinces, there are some things you have to consider before you go there. So Quebec is not an exception. Quebec's own is that you have to pay twice. Having said all this, guys, I hope I have been able to tell you, or I've been able to show you or describe to you how it feels or what it feels like to live in Quebec. So if you're intending to come into Canada and you think that Quebec is the best province for you, it is a wonderful decision that you have made, and I can bet you would enjoy your stay in Quebec. But you have to look at the advantages and disadvantages, just like I have shared with you right now, before you make your decision. If you enjoyed this content, please click on the like button. Yes, give me a thumbs up there, okay, just to encourage me to do more videos. And you can also subscribe to my channel if you will, and share the video if you will. Okay guys, so thank you so much for tuning into my channel today. I really do appreciate your staying here. See you in my next video. Bye.